Pam of Sambookery, and today I have got a fun free printable project for you guys. We are going to make a folio for fall. This kit's called Bright Autumn. It's going to be similar to the folio we made in the spring with my Emerald Meadow kit. So it'll be something like this. I've got a little bit different shape, but the same kind of feeling. If you haven't done this one, I'll put a link to that video and the freebie in the description. So let me show you all the pages in the kit. This is the outside of the folio here. You'll want to print this on cardstock so it's a little bit sturdier because this will be the outside of everything. And then I backed it with this print. Here's the next page. This comes, you want to print on cardstock as well. This has got a mini folio pocket and some journaling cards, and I backed that with this print. This is kind of a non-directional backing paper too. And then we've got some fun ephemera. We've got lots of tags, tabs, labels, little circles. Print this on cardstock as well. And then I backed that with this page. So they're all kind of non-directional, and you can pick and choose what you want to back yours with. And then we've got the little mini journal pages. This print on regular paper. I mean, you can print it on cardstock if you want. I always print it on regular paper because it's kind of like a little notebook. I use kind of a more heavyweight copy paper, a 32-pound for mine, but just something a little bit heavier weight. And I backed mine with this. So those are all the pages in the kit. And this is a super simple project. Let me grab my supplies and we will get started. All right, to make this project, you'll want a scoring board, a paper trimmer, or some scissors, bone folder, glue. I like to use my art glitter glue, and then some way to attach the mini journal to the folio. You can always just put it in the pocket like I did on this one. We just folded it in half and tucked it in the pocket and we just stapled it. If you want to sew it in to the actual folio, you may want to grab some bookbinding supplies. Some sort of thread. I've got some waxed thread here. Something sharp, an awl. A couple of clips to hold it, and a needle. I still haven't decided how I'm going to attach mine, but I've got that handy if I need it. So first we'll want to start cutting everything out. So let me move this aside. You can use your scissors, but for the straight edges, you can use a paper trimmer if you've got one. So we can use it for 3 sides of this folio. I like this trimmer because it's got this wire here, and so you can see exactly where the blade is going to cut, which I love. But you do have to replace these blades quite often, and you can get kind of a fuzzy edge if the blade is dull. That's not too bad though. All right, and now we just need to cut the curved top. I think this is the scalloped top. No, this is the bracket. I think it's the bracket top. So I just go slowly. These projects are so fun and quick, and it would be fun as like a mass make or to send out in Happy Mail. A lot of people tell me they use them to tuck a gift card into and kind of send them as instead of a greeting card, kind of a more interactive element. You can put a little note inside. Okay, so there's that all cut out. Well, we'll cut these out. So I will generally try to just get them in sections. Then we just need to nip off the corners. If I didn't say already, I'll put a link in the description so you can get this free printable, and you can be printing it out while you're watching how to assemble it. It's on my website. If you haven't been there before, it's sambookery.com. I have a whole section of free printables for you guys. And you just need, when you're checking out, it's $0, but you're still going through like the checkout process, and it will ask for your email address and for you to make a password, because it will save everything you purchase and everything you get for free on the website for you, so you can go back anytime and print them out again. You don't have to sign up for my newsletter unless you want to. It's an option, but I do only announce my discounts to my newsletter subscribers and give them the discount coupons. So if you're interested in getting coupon discounts, sign up for my newsletter. Currently, I only sell on my website. I may sell on Etsy in the future, the digitals, but right now I just sell physical items on Etsy, like my journals and craft supplies and things. So the only way to like get the sales is to sign up for the newsletter. But you don't have to sign up to get the freebies. They're just on my website for you guys. And this little mini one is just like a super scaled down version of this one. I don't scale down. Boy, it'd be fun one day to make this kit, but scale all the ephemera down super tiny to fit in here. I might try that. You guys let me know in the comments if you're interested in doing things like this small, because to scale, it's like quarter size. So we could scale these down. The tags would be like this big. It'd be a challenge to cut out, but I think it'd be worth doing. So you guys let me know in the comments though if you are down for like a super mini folio, and I will put one of those together. We'll try it out. I like small things. I mean, small is cute, but I'm not always super excited to have to do like super tiny things. It kind of stresses me out. So, but I think just cutting out tags and things, that's not that difficult. You're cutting out straight lines, you can do smaller straight lines. I don't think it'd be too hard, but let me know if it's worth trying, if you want me to put one of those together for you. And always, like if you're more advanced junk journaler, you know how to adjust the percentage when you're printing out your printables, and you can just shrink down anything. You could shrink this kit down to a tiny size if you want. I never think to do that. I'd rather just have the kits already made the size they're going to be at the end. But that's definitely an option. All right, so we are almost done with this page. We just need to cut out the little bracket end here. Oop. And the tip for fussy cutting is turn the paper, not the scissors. So that's what we're doing. Although the way I cut is, I can't really see where the white is, so I'm trying to stay right on the line. But if I'm gonna err, I'm gonna err on the side of cutting off a little bit of the printed area rather than leaving extra white. If you leave extra white, you can always ink it, but I'd rather not have to remember to look for white that needs to be inked. All right, so that whole page is cut out. Here's this. So I'll wait and we'll do all the scoring at the end, but we do have some pieces here that are going to need to be scored. This page is super easy to cut out. It's just a rectangle and then round the corners. If you want more pages in your little like mini journal inside this folio, you can just print more of these pages out. Might be fun to make it more of a booklet with adding a couple more pages. All right, and then I'll actually fold these before I round the corners. That way I can round the corners at the same time and they'll match up. So we'll remember to do that. And we've just got this page left. I think it's best to cut off the bookmark first. And if you have a 1-inch circle punch, that's what these are sized to fit into, and it's easier to punch them when you have like a bigger piece of paper to hang on to. So I would punch these out now before you cut this down anymore. Sometimes I forget and I'm trying to feed a tiny little piece of paper through my punch and it's nearly impossible. All right, so there's these guys. And we can finish cutting this guy out. And let's just trim up here. And a trimmer is totally not necessary. I sometimes will cut out entire kits, like the 46-page kits, with just scissors. It just depends what I'm doing. If I'm kind of want to spend time with the family, I'll bring this pair of scissors and several pages out, and I'll just be cutting out while we're doing something together as a family or watching a show. But if I'm at my desk, I'll grab the paper trimmer and do the straight edges. Alright, there's our bookmark. It's got tiny hole here. You can use a regular hole punch if that's all you have. But I think it fits this one, yeah. So I don't know, it's kind of a glare. If you can see the size hole punch this is, let's see if that's going to fit. It might be a little small. Oh no, that's perfect. So that's a perfect size for this one. And if you've got a crocodile, I think that might be, yeah, it's got 2 sizes on here. So it's the 1/8. The 1/8 size is the size to fit through here. But there's plenty of room here to cut out just a regular hole punch size if you want. All right, what's left? Let's get these, see if I line these up. Yes, I try to line things up so when you are using a paper trimmer, you're not having to make so many cuts. But sometimes it doesn't always work out just because of the size of the ephemera. Like this tag is a little bit wider than the journaling card, but we did get to save 1 cut at least. Here's our journaling card, and there are rounded corners on this. So if you've got this corner rounded with the small, medium, large, it's the small size. You could always just round it with your scissors though. And this tag, chop off the corners, and standard hole punch for this one. And a few more pieces here. We got these 2 tiny square cards. I just like squares. And I think it's fun to have like smaller things you can use for different things in your journal. I like to use these and add them to the top of a tag or a larger journaling card, kind of as a topper or a pull. You can use them in clusters. Fold them in half and glue them down as like a tab. So many fun things. So I think they're pretty versatile. Got 2 more. I did fairly plain tags here, so I thought it'd be fun to like layer things, or if they're tucked in a pocket, you're really just seeing the top. So I kept the design at the top of the tag. we just gotta nip off the corners here. This one looks slightly smaller than standard hole punch. Let's see. Might be 3/16, so let's try that. I left a little white, so I would say standard hole punch on this one. Because it's, for me, it's difficult to get like an inker in there to, if you leave white. Crush. All right. There we go. Then we've got the tabs and the labels. So I'll show you, if you haven't cut out labels before, you'll want to just, oops, ooh, that got pulled. It'll be fine now. You want to cut them out as a rectangle. Don't try to cut this fiddly bit yet. We're going to score it and fold it in half, and we'll cut this together so that the front and back of the tab match. You kind of want to do that for anything you're folding together. You want the sides to be the same. So if you can cut them after you folded them, that is a big help. On these tickets, I like to use my smaller scissors, of these cutter bee scissors, to do the little rounded notched corners of the ticket. I think they work a little better than the large scissors. There's our ticket. And then this one, you know, yeah. So it's got a curve, but I actually prefer to cut with the big scissors most things, because these ones are serrated, so it just takes like a tiny cut each time, and you can get really accurate when you're trying to turn at intersections. And these don't slip on your paper either. They kind of hold themselves in place. All right, I think we've got everything cut out. Let me clear this up really quick. All right, so next we need to do the scoring. If you don't have this big scoring board, this one is great as well. It's just, oh no, I think it'll work. All right, I always use this tiny one if I can, because it's easier to pull out than the giant one. And I wasn't sure this would fit, but it just fits here. So let's use that, because this is a small project. We don't need this giant scoring board, but this is a great one. If you don't have a scoring board, just grab a long ruler and anything kind of blunt. I know some people use like the tips of their scissors, like a ballpoint pen that doesn't have ink anymore. Anything blunt, just to run along that line. And scoring really helps you to fold, because it kind of loosens up the paper and allows it to fold easier. So we're scoring on this. It's a white line here. We're scoring on that. And then there's a faint white line here. We're going to score on that one. So we're just lining it up, which this is hard for me to tell. The top and the bottom on the same score line on your board. And now you can kind of see that, and then we're going to fold this in, and we're going to fold this. And this is our folio. So here's the structure. You open it up and you see this scene, and then on the back is like the sun. So super pretty, super fall colors. I really like this. So let's go ahead and do the rest of the scoring. We've got this pocket here. It's got 3 tabs we need to score. And there's a little faint white line there that shows you where to score. And we fold them in. On these pockets, if you don't like this print or you want to do something a little different, just whatever you print on the back, you can fold the tabs back this way, and then that will be the outside of your pocket if you like that better. I'll fold it this way, and I'll make the decision once we start putting everything in the folio just to see how it looks inside there. All right, there's that. Then we've got the mini folio. I print all of mine on my Epson ET4850 printer. It is an eco tank printer, meaning you don't buy all the little cartridges. You buy like bottles of ink, and you like squirt the bottles of ink into your printer, and it holds a ton of ink at a time, and it costs way less for the ink. The printers cost a little more to purchase than a regular inkjet, but the money you save on ink is insane. And I buy like the official Epson ink from Epson. Like, I don't want to mess up my printer by buying like a knockoff brand ink. So I pay like full price for the ink, and it's still just hundreds cheaper than what I was spending using an inkjet to print all my things. So I just use that printer. It's not like a super high quality photo printer or anything, and I just use on high quality to print mine out on the cardstock. Let's see, what's left? We're gonna do these. We don't need to score these though, we just need to fold them in half. There is a line here, but to me it's more accurate to line up these edges than to fold it on that line. So we just fold it in half, score it, and now we can round the corners now that they're together. I think it's the small, yes. There's that page, and we'll do this page. So any of the supplies I use or things I mentioned, if it's available to link, I will link it either on my favorite supplies page on my website or put it in my Amazon storefront. I am an Amazon affiliate, so I do earn from qualifying purchases, and I do link to those in the video description, just in case you guys want to learn more about something you see me using. I love to see what other people are using and get tips and find out new supplies I didn't know were around. All right, so there's that. All I have left are these 2 tabs. Let's see if I'm gonna be able to score, because you kind of need to line up this notch here. So I'll usually like test score and see if my line is going right in the middle, and if it's not, I'll move it over a tiny bit and then score. You don't have to score, it just makes it a little easier to folding these because they're so tiny. So that's a little off, I'll move it over. And to me, it doesn't matter if the bottoms, that's off though, if the bottoms don't match up, because they're gonna be on opposite sides of your paper, right? So when you glue these on, the bottoms don't matter, but this part matters. So that's the part you wanna cut after you've made the fold. And if it doesn't, you want to make sure it looks good on both sides. And now they match up. Yeah, I don't think I should have scored. It's hard to score these because you can't get the center lined up because there's the white. You can kind of make them any shape you want, but they're supposed to be a little rounded. And then a swoop. And then that. So there we go. And now we're ready to assemble everything. So let's clear this out. Let's see, anything else we want to round the corners on? I don't think so. These are cute with rounded corners. Let's do that. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them yet, but I know they look cute with little rounded corners. You can easily round the corners with scissors too. Just gently curve your paper and snip off the corner. All right, let's put all of this together. So when I'm assembling this, I like to start with like the biggest elements first, because you don't want to run out of space and them not be able to fit. So for us, this pocket is like the biggest thing. This is like the second biggest. So I usually start with these, and then keep an eye on idea of what you want to do with your little mini journal here. Because you can just tuck it into a pocket, you can stitch it in here, you can just tie it in with a string. Like, there's a million things you can do with it. I do something different every time, just depending. But the pocket is like the biggest thing, and it fits right in between the folds here or here. So those are your choices on where you want to put it. I will generally put it right here. I like it to be tucked inside the middle because it's kind of where I'm sticking a lot of things. So I like it nestled right in here. Before we start gluing things down though, I think I will ink the edges on everything. It just kind of gives it a more finished look, and I just like it. So let's see, what color ink do we want to do? This kit's got a lot of orange, and the vintage photo definitely leans more orange. Other ones I'm considering are frayed burlap and ground espresso, but I think this orange, because it's kind of like this, I think that will look the nicest and blend in the most here. Yeah, a nice warm tone, which goes with our kit. If your kit's more dark or kind of grayed out, you want something like the espresso or the burlap. But I like this orange tone. I think it adds warmth here. And then especially, I like to reverse fold on the folio and ink along here. It helps me when I'm putting things in, and I think it just gives it a like aged, worn look. But also when you're putting things in, you can really see where your folds are, so you can make sure you're not putting things over the fold so that the folio doesn't close. So you guys don't want to watch this, I don't think. It might be very relaxing, but I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch me ink everything in the kit. I'll do that really quick, and then I'll come right back and we will get back to assembling this super fun fall folio. Okay, I'm back. I've got everything inked, and I've already decided how we're gonna put this together. This will be a fun new way. We're gonna start with this pocket here. Grabbed my art glitter glue. Here's what it looks like. I just put it in this extra craft bottle I have. Or if you have glue stick or double sticky tape, use whatever you have. This is my favorite, but everyone has different preferences. I tried a lot of glues before I found this. I had a really great glue I loved that they stopped making, so I had to search again. But this art glitter glue is great. It's a liquid glue. It dries very quickly though, so you can keep working. So I just put glue on the 3 tabs, line it up with the bottom, and just make sure, you guys, that you're not over this crease, because you don't have a lot of leeway and you want to be able to close your folio once this pocket's in. So there's that. Now this booklet, I'm decided to try to do this simply, just in case you guys are new and don't have like a lot of supplies. Everyone usually has a stapler. If you don't have a stapler, you don't even have to. Just leave it nested together like this. Like, they stay together pretty nicely. We've got just a regular office stapler. We're just gonna staple this. So fold it, put them together, open it up, and you're gonna just line up your staple on the line, which I can never get exactly, but let's see. That's pretty close. So I'm just coming in like a 1/2 inch from each end and putting in a staple. And that's it. And now your journal is bound together and won't come apart. And I wanted to add these tabs to it. I usually, let's see, we'll put them on the second and third pages. So they'll be like that. So let's glue those in. That one, and then we'll do this one. Might be a little crooked. I love just putting tabs on everything. Tabs are my favorite. All right, so there's our little mini booklet. Staple binding, super easy. Lots of pages to write. This is background paper, is pretty neutral. You'll be able to see writing on here. And then this lined page has lots of room. So super cute. We're just gonna tuck that in here. And we've got this large journaling card. I'm just gonna tuck in this pocket as well. We've got this super tall bookmark with the stacked books. That needs something at the top. Maybe just a little bit of this ribbon. And this is just 100% cotton ribbon. It's very loosely woven, so kind of a nice frayed effect. I think that would look cute on the top here. So we punched this hole, but I don't want to thread this through that hole. I feel like it might tear the cardstock because this ribbon's 1/2 inch wide. So I'm just gonna fold it and staple it here. If you know you're gonna staple something, you don't even need to punch out the holes on your tabs. And there we go. So that adds a cute little topper to that. And then it just gives something to happen up here in the top. Got this small journaling card here, and we've got this one. Let's see, I've got this darker kind of coffee stained color ribbon. This hole's bigger, and I think we'll be able to fit it through here. Oh yeah, no trouble at all on this one. So we'll just feed it through and loop it around. Yarn is also great to use on these if you've got some yarn. If you save like ribbon from packaging or gift bag handles or something. So there's that. I'm gonna put a label on here. Always, whenever you're using something, always check the back. See what you printed on the back and see if you like that better. I think I like this one though because it's got the more pinky tone, which is here and here. But I don't mind this orange back either. So either one is good, but I'll just go with the pink since that's what I was planning on. So we're just trying to center that on there. And then we've got the mini folio. So I thought inside the mini folio, I would make a little tuck spot out of this square card. So I'm gonna leave this side open. So that's where I put my hand, so I don't put glue there. Put glue on the other 3 sides. And just put that in there. And now we've got a tuck spot for this little ticket. And I thought we would put this up here at the top. I haven't done that before. I don't think I'll go all the way. Do I want to go all the way to the top? No. I'll leave a little bit of space and we'll glue this down. When you glue this down, if you want to leave a secret pocket, you just leave one side unglued. Like I can not glue the top and I could hide, you know, this in there or something. But this time I'm just gonna glue the whole thing down. But it does make a great pocket. I've done it where I've glued it down here and left the top open as a pocket, and then this opens up. But we're trying something different this time, and I don't need a pocket this time, so we'll just glue the whole thing down. And just make sure you're not too close to this folded edge here. So get all the way to this far edge so you have enough room for the folio to close. And we'll just press it down. And I usually check after each step. Yeah, folds super easy. This you can just hold down and then close. If it's bothering you, these little Velcro dots are great. I'm gonna grab this though. It's got this cute swoop here, but I thought it'd be cute to put this pumpkin here. So I wanna glue this on, and then we'll put a Velcro dot. So let me think. We wanna do some glue right here, and all along the top here. Kind of center that on there. Make sure you didn't glue it closed. That looks good. And then I want to add like a Velcro dot right here. They're very thin, and they'll just help keep it closed so it doesn't like pop open. Trying to think. I think I actually want to put the fluffy side down first. Oh, I never remember. Let's put the fluffy side down right here. And then attach the hook side. And then close it and press. Oh, doesn't it make a fun noise? All right, and that keeps it closed so it won't pop open when you're trying to close it. All right, and then we've got all this empty space down here, right? What are we gonna put here? So I thought we would make a tuck spot out of this journaling card. So we're just gonna put glue on the bottom and the right side. I'm gonna go fairly close to the edge, but not all the way, just a smidge away. You can go all the way if you want. It's just that's a rounded corner and that's a pointed corner, and so I didn't want to get them too close to each other. All right, we've got these two tags left. They need something at the top. Let's see what we have. I have this lace. Let's do something with this lace. We can tuck this in here, and then this one, I think we'll just use some of this like inch wide ribbon. I like this ribbon because it's really easy to fray the edges because it's loosely woven, so you can get a really nice kind of grungy effect simply. And I think I'll just, ooh, that looks, I don't know. This one's really wide. Maybe I'll do it as like a tab on here. Let's do that. You can glue it. I'm just stapling today. We're just gonna staple everything. So there's that guy. All right. All we have left are two circle punches here. Let's make sure this still closes. Oh, so nice. Now on this one, I do generally press the edge down just to get this folded over the first couple times. Look how nice this is. So we have some options for closure. I do it different a lot of times, but we used to brad on this one and just tied some string. This is pearl cotton on there and used it as a wraparound closure with some beads at the end. If you want to do that, save some of your cardstock scraps because you will need a third circle. All right, if you have a brad, this is great. If you don't have a brad, do like I was saying, just glue the ribbon down, anything flat. You can probably even get, if you have some thicker glue, something like a twine or something, and then glue this over it and just wrap it around and then just tuck it in. We are gonna try to combine that idea with the brad. So first, let's pick out a color brad. How about copper? And we'll want a third circle. And something pokey. So what you want to do, let's see if I can, let me ink this one. So first we want to make the top circle stronger. So we're just going to back it with this extra thing we punched out and just glue them back to back. Right? Because one layer of cardstock is not super sturdy, and if you're using it as a closure, it's going to get pulled. You kind of want to beef it up. So that's what our extra scrap circle is for. All right, so now we've got a double-sided extra thick circle and our plain circle. And we are going to poke a hole in the center of these, hold them together. It really helps if you have like a piece of foam or something. I'll use this box. It's like a padded box so that you can just poke straight down. Like an old book. If you've got an old book you use the book pages out of, that's a great thing to use. We're just going to eyeball the center and poke a hole. And take your brad, put it through the hole, and just open up the legs. And now we are going to glue this to here. That's just the bottom circle, and that way we will have the top circle floating that we can wrap things around. So string, ribbon, whatever you have. Now, if you're doing string, you don't need to glue it. You can just tie the string around the brad legs, and then you can cut them off below here if you don't want to have dangles, or leave them long if you want to have dangles. We are going to glue it underneath this for this closure method that I just am trying right now for the first time. So we'll see if this works. So I'm just going to put some glue down. Press the ribbon there, and then now I'm going to glue this over top of it. Make sure you're only getting glue on this bottom circle. So I'll show you, put a lot of glue because you've got to get the paper to glue down around these dimensional brad legs. But then we'll check it to make sure it doesn't glue the top circle down too. So get it in a good place. Press, grab something, end of a pencil. I'm just using the end of this, your fingernail, something, and just go around the edge and just make sure this top circle is floating free from the bottom circle. You can also go ahead and press down on the bottom circle a little bit more. But that's it. And this is a way to do it so that you don't have the brad legs showing on the inside here. And they're covered up. So now let's see how long we want this yarn to be. Or this isn't yarn, but if you're using yarn, that's a great thing to use too. So I used pearl cotton on this one. We're using fabric ribbon here. Yarn is great as well. I just want this to wrap around and kind of tuck in. I don't want to pull too much because I just glued it. Just tuck in here and hang down. So maybe just to right there. And this cotton ribbon is great it takes dye, watercolor, acrylic inks, anything like that super nicely. So it's super fun to use, and I may come back and do it. I don't think so though. I like the white because there's white here, but you could dye this orange or green to match this. All right, and there we go. And that's it, we're all done. This is such a fun, quick project, this Bright Autumn folio for fall. Hope you guys had fun making this and stuffing it full of fun goodies. It'd make a great Happy Mail gift or something to tuck cards or gift cards into for grandkids. So make sure you head to my website, sambookery.com, and get your free printable so you can make this along with me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.